Hey. Yeah,
We don't have any game
yeah.
of any letter.
This will probably be a short episode, just kind of us updating people on what's going on in our lives and stuff. Just saying briefly what's been happening in the world and our thoughts on it.
I also just realized I didn't have my mic turned on that whole intro.
Oh,
Sick.
So what's
As
up,
you can
guys?
tell, it's a very professional operation.
Yeah, we're not in our A game today, as I said, and I am still currently sitting at my mic. But yeah, I can't find my lights. We've been busy, had a lot of things going on, but here we are. So now I have my mic and y'all can hear. Thanks for watching the Devil Drives Lada podcast, the internet's worst podcast available online. I had someone talk to me last week, about a week ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I love getting the boys together, and we'll watch your podcast together." I was like, "Bro, who?
That's crazy.
who watches?" But thank you guys, the people that do watch. I'm Jamie. I am Ohana Arms. I spent combat time in Ukraine. I teach people to shoot, and what else do I do? Play airsoft. I like airsoft. That's all I got. Somebody else can go.
We do a little LARPing.
I'm Sean. I'm an Army veteran. I deployed in 2019 to Kuwait and Syria in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. Kuwait actually is a deployment again, so we're still back.
We're so back.
But yeah, as a 12 Bravo combat engineer, and just a fucking history nerd, and I like nice retro camos and kit and stuff.
Very nice.
I enjoy long walks on the beach.
Do you actually though? Like, is that a core part of your personality? Like, why is that a thing?
What? Enjoying long walks on the beach?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say I've never heard about you taking a long walk on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a
to
thing
be fair,
that people
the last
do.
time I was at the beach, I was with one of you guys. So.
You were? Was it me?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember this.
Huh.
I'm
Do I
trying
remember
not to
that?
dox any personal information.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember that either, but we don't have to talk about it
we
right
weren't
now.
at the beach per se.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I was just making a geographic observation.
Geology.
The study of geo.
I like rocks.
I'm retarded enough, but I like rocks.
All right, you're up.
Insane they put that kid on SNL.
Yeah, he's doing such a good job on this.
You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you.
You're up, Ian.
Oh, do I have to? Okay. What's up? I'm Ian. I run a weird little company called Operator Supply.
Which is not the same as Ohana Arms. Somehow.
No, it's not. Apparently, yeah. Apparently, that's a point of confusion. We are separate people, in fact, with separate corporate entities as well. It's not a corporation, to be clear. It's me. I own it. It's just a guy.
The corporation.
Yeah, but don't worry. Eat the rich does not apply to Ian.
Yeah, I'm fucking hungry too, dog. Like.
Yeah, he makes some cool stuff. I had someone ask me the other day, shout out to this person if you're watching, about my custom roll ones that I manufacture. And I was like, huh? And he's like, yeah, the roll one IFACs.
Literally, what are you talking about?
And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, you've talked about them on the podcast. I was like, oh, dude, that's not even mine.
Different guy.
That's a different dude altogether.
But yeah.
I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
So yeah, housekeeping tips. Ohana Arms and Operator Supply are not the same company. I also, as I've mentioned on the Ohana Arms Facebook page, Instagram page, I recently was in Ukraine for a small, short period of time, and I met some really cool people, saw some old friends, did some shopping, some things like that, and I was talking to the person I was traveling with, and I was like, we saw some 3D printed stuff in a couple of the shops, like some professional, like combat ready 3D prints, and I was like, dude, I just missed the biggest opportunity of not having my 3D printed mag plate locks for my PMags not with me. And I would have loved to pass them out and share them. And they were like, wait, so you don't just keep some in your backpack? And I was like, no, why? Like, to give out like this? I was like, that makes way too much sense. So, huge missed opportunity there. I'm very annoyed by that. We still are trying to figure out a way to sell them. Apparently, it's a lot harder than you think to find a, like, turnkey shop platform that lets you sell firearm parts. So...
So... Well, I guess, this is not the time to discuss that, but I may have something for you on that.
Perfect. Because Shopify doesn't do it. Some other places, I might just kind of be like, yeah, they're for airsoft, because I'm sure you could use them for an airsoft gun. I'm sure it's possible. So, yeah. Let's see, what else? There's some other housekeeping tips. We're back. We got some subscribers.
We're so back.
I'm not sure how, but apparently more degenerates decided that they wanted to watch us and actually be subscribed. So thank you guys.
What's up, noobs?
But what happened is we missed our 69th subscriber, and I'm very sorry.
Truly a tragic day.
We
whoever you are, shout out to you.
Yeah. We'll do something on the 69th episode. Which, by the way, today's our 30th episode, which is pretty cool. There have been 30 of these horrible podcasts. But, yeah. Sorry.
And we still don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah,
after 30 episodes.
I didn't have my mic turned on for the first 30 seconds of today's podcast. So, yeah, we missed our 69th subscriber.
We're not real. We're figments of your imagination.
Yeah,
we're all just large language models. So.
That's why y'all don't. But see, I have my face. Y'all don't today. So is this actually my podcast now?
That doesn't prove that you're real.
You're so creative.
Yeah, I took you guys away.
Whoa, wow, what a great audience.
Yeah, I trained my LLM on Sean and Ian and have replaced them.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, we invaded Iran. We'll talk about some of that later.
Well, we didn't invade yet. We just bombed the fucking shit out of them.
Yeah, we just
maybe
sent them some freedom by airmail.
They're maybe. That's still a maybe, actually. We'll talk about them more later. But yeah, we allegedly have not invaded them yet. So,
I'm sure our greatest ally has some agents in place.
Yes. I wanted to do a podcast in Ukraine. That was something I really wanted to do. Was I have some friends that would have loved to sat down and do an interview with me, and we could have done one there. But between the time zone differences and my incredibly busy schedule while I was there, like running around from place to place, it just was not gonna happen. Every day I was there was like an early morning and a late night of moving around and getting from point A to point B and trying to see as many people as possible and do as much as possible. So unfortunately that did not happen, which is disappointing. That would have been really cool. I even thought about just recording one on the train, updating on what I saw and what happened, because I had a couple cool stories come out of it. But yeah. Do y'all have anything we want to talk about today?
I'm good, dog. I'm just here for the theoretical violence,
Yeah.
the notional violence, if you will.
Yeah.
I guess I will talk about Ukraine real quick first. My most memorable story is I was wearing I have 2 warm coats, like winter coats. Actually 3 warm winter coats here in the US. I have a Ukrainian issue coat that was my friend's before he was killed. I have a Russian like essentially like a layer 6 coat, and then a layer like extreme cold weather like 7, if we're thinking about it in like army layers. And well, I did not want to wear the Ukrainian issue one because that could potentially cause problems of people wanting it back, despite it being my dead homies that is not going back to anyone other than me, or his family. But so I wore my Russian one and walked around Ukraine wearing it. And I think it was the second day I was there. I was in a coffee shop meeting with somebody. And this guy walked past me, like did a double take, and then walked out. And then he walked like 10 meters out of the shop. And then I saw him turn around and start walking back in. I was like, oh boy, here we go. And
Boy, here we go.
he was like, hey, do you know what that is? And I was like, a coat or something like that. And he's like, but it's Russian
No, why don't you
camouflage."
inform me?
Yeah. And he was like, I know. He was like, oh, okay, but like someone could get offended or it could cause problems. Like, okay. And he kind of kept I was like, it's a trophy. And he was like, well, I understand that, but someone else might not. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, well, I just wanted to let you know. And he just kind of turned around and walked out. So like, I don't know necessarily what his intentions were, but whatever. I'd been walking around for a whole day with it, and no one had really batted an eye. Well, then the next day I was there, I was taking pictures at Independence Square, which is where all of the flags for the fallen Ukrainian soldiers are. Well, all the soldiers. There's tons and tons of like American flags, Australian flags, stuff like that. And I was walking around there taking pictures, and there was like a foot of snow on the ground, so I was like scraping snow off of some friends' pictures and flags so you could see them and stuff like that. And I was getting ready to leave, and we're taking the last couple of pictures. And this like group of late teens, early 20s dudes walks up to me. First, they're like talking to this older middle-aged like Ukrainian lady, kind of pointing at me, looking. I was like, oh boy, what is this about? And their like body language shows they're upset. And he like runs up to me and like broken English, but mostly like Ukrainian. He was like, Ruski Peter ass. I was like, talk, yes, which the Peter ass is like a it's like the have y'all seen the South Park episode where he's where he gets in trouble or he goes to court or whatever, and he's like, so if a motorcycle cuts you off in traffic and you call them this word, does that mean that you hate the gays, or does that mean that the guy's just acting in a certain way? Have y'all seen that episode?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The F
The F word, but not the F word. But it's not
the
YouTube
F
safe.
slur.
Yeah.
The F slur.
And so he was like basically saying like Russians are Peter ass. I was like, okay, yeah. And he just like points to my coat and says it again. And I was like, yeah, okay. And so he was like, so you can't wear this. I was like, I can wear whatever I want. And they like start getting like more and more aggressive, which all of them were like just kids. Like the person I was with was like, they're just kids that are fired up that don't know what to do. And I was like, oh, they could go fight if it's such a big deal to them. I can tell by looking at them, none of them are, have been to war. I was like, so if they care so much about, a camouflage color, they can go do something. But finally I pull out like Google Translate, and basically he's like, you can't be wearing this, da da da, you don't even know what this is. And I pull out my military ID, and he goes, oh. He's like, so you were a soldier? And I was like, yes. And he's like, but you can't be wearing that, Ruski Peter ass. And I was like, stop. And so I ended up
my brother
I was like, it is a
Ukrainian
trophy.
Christ.
And he was like,
Mi hermano en Cristo.
which it's hilarious because I was like, trophy, Ruski trophy, which trophy is the same word in English as it is in Ukrainian, just like the way you enunciate it is different.
Oh, fun.
And he was like, trophy. Yani Razumio. Which is, I don't understand. And so I pull out the translator again, and I translate the whole thing. Goes, trophy. I was like, what? And he was like, Razumio. And then they just like all get up and walk away. But it was like, they're up in my face, and he's like, I was like, Ruski trophy. I'm like explaining this whole situation. He's like, trophy. Like he repeats it like 5 times to himself and his friends, and they're like looking at each other like, I don't know. And then I translate, and he's like, trophy. And it's like, yeah. The person I was with was like, that was terrifying. I was like, they're just literally just kids. But it was a funny ordeal. He was like, before he walked away, basically he translated. Basically, he's like, you need to take it off or people will cause problems. And I was like, you're the only person that causes any problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just you.
You mean you?
Yeah, you are people, buddy. No one else has had any problems with this because they actually know. I talked to my Ukrainian friends about it later. I was seeing them later. Because he said something about like Russian spy. And the Ukrainian was like, my buddy was like, wait, that's exactly what a Russian spy would do. Wear Russian camouflage in the middle of downtown Independence Square.
Easily identify themselves. Yeah, you fucking idiot.
He's like, yes, that makes so much sense. He was like, stupid Ukrainian boys that haven't been to war.
Excellent spycraft.
So, yeah, it was just an all-around funny thing because they cared so much and just really could not comprehend like the gravity of what the jacket was. And then I wore the same jacket to my favorite military store. Shout out Abrams. Fantastic company and store. I'll explain them in a second. But the guy that was helping me, I walked in wearing the jacket. He's like, oh, cool jacket. I was like, thanks. And I like put it on the coat rack and started shopping. And I went to go put it on to leave, and he was like, you know what camouflage that is, right? And I was like, yeah, it's Russian. He goes, yeah. He's like, it uses, he's like, it's a Russian pattern. I was like, no, it's a Russian jacket. And he goes, yeah. And I put it on, and he looks and he goes, wait, it's a Russian jacket. I was like, yes. And he was like, but it's actually Russian. He's like, it's not just, they didn't just use the pattern. And I was like, yes. And he's like, can I see it? Can I touch
That's
it?
what I'm
Can
saying.
I try it on? And so they proceed to like pass it around to the different employees for the next couple minutes, like looking at it. I was like, what? And
that's what I'm telling you.
There was something, he said something too. He's like, Russians really can make some decent stuff. Because it's honestly a decent jacket. Or decent coat. And it shows you just how much even like the propaganda on both sides is. Because he was like dumbfounded that it was actually a good quality jacket. And he was like, I thought they only made bad stuff. It's like, well, no. That's the propaganda that you've been kind of fed. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of cheap Russian
Have you
junk,
never picked up an AK, bro? Like, what?
Yeah, for real. What the fuck?
Like, yeah, there's like tons of Russian equipment is horrible quality. Like, we it's like case in point. we'll have some show and tell real quick. I have a 6B43. Genuine 6B43, and it is absolutely falling apart. Everything from like the tags falling off to broken buckles. All of the Velcro has like become detached. Not all of it, but a lot of the Velcro has become detached. The fabric is super thin, in comparison to like an IOTV, which is basically what this is modeled after, is a later gen IOTV. But so like, yeah, you know, it is cheaper in a lot of ways, not very good. But the propaganda has been, you know, everything Russian made is junk. Everything Ukrainian made is good. And it's the same way on the Russian side. You know, all the Ukrainian stuff is junk, Russian stuff's good. It's just government propaganda go Bert. But it's really fascinating to hear him be like, wow, I thought they only made bad stuff. So,
Yeah.
just goes to show you how even, like, educated, like, people in their field, like, this guy's literally a gear nerd. He's, like, trying to sell me, like, Cry JPC stuff and FCPCs. And,
You are not immune to propaganda.
Armor stuff, and it's like clearly knows this stuff. He's like showing me all the different gun belts, from like the Bison belt to Agilite offerings to Ukrainian made stuff to Cries. So like he knows his stuff in the gear department, but still thinks all the Russian stuff is just junk. So I found that very interesting. So yeah, that was kind of one of my Ukraine highlights. While I was there, it was relatively quiet. There were still lots of places without electricity. For those of you that don't know, basically since like November, Russia's been severely, or well, specifically targeting the electrical infrastructure for Ukraine. So like, many of the time, or a lot of the time since October, November, people have been without power. Or like running on shifts, so they'll turn like sections of the grid off at certain times to send it other places, to kind of do rotations. Yeah. And that's caused already one of Ukraine's worst winters in like 2 decades to be much worse. There's like or maybe not now. Some of the infrastructure has been repaired, but in like December, there were literally like elderly people freezing to death in their houses because of the harsh winter and no electricity for heat or anything. So I'm very thankful to see that slowly coming back up online. And things are improving, but still not great. But it was very good to see friends, catch up with people, things like that. It's kind of one of the things where you kind of have to take what you can get, because you don't necessarily know when you'll see people again, or if ever. Especially when you go to them, like, that's essentially like, you know, going to see your homies on their deployment and be like, yo, what's up? And then leave and hope they make it home, kind of thing. So, cool experience. Overall, Kyiv is relatively safe. Relatively. As horrible as it sounds, yeah, they still get hit with drones and missiles, and I might make some people upset about this, but there's millions of people living in Kyiv, and while yes, it is dangerous, like missiles and drones hitting, statistically speaking, you're perfectly safe. Like, the odds of it hitting through your apartment window or through your, you know, whatever is just severely low, yeah. I might make some people upset by saying that, but statistically, you're okay. That's really all I have on Ukraine. Oh, one more thing. This Abrams store, so they're like the biggest, like, tactical, I don't know how, professional grade tactical combat kind of clothing and equipment retailer in Ukraine. Imagine you, I FaceTimed you, Ian, didn't I? Or did I send y'all a video or something?
Yeah. No, you FaceTime me from inside the store, yeah.
Imagine walking into, like, the front door of, How big would you say that is? I don't know, like a CVS size store or something, like a pharmacy size store, like I don't know, bigger than like a GameStop, smaller than a Target for sure. So I don't know, something like a Walgreens or like a CVS size store, and the entire place is like Cry, Pharaoh Concepts, Arterix, um, Vertex, Eberly Stock, Mystery Ranch, just every single big kind of company you can imagine, and the shelves are just lined with stuff. You can go in there and get a turnkey. Like when I say turnkey, I mean every single component of a like DMR and Vizio comm setup, attached to a OpsCore helmet, along with your Cry pants and a fully built like FCPC with boots, sleep system, like everything you can imagine. You can go in there with nothing and walk out with everything you need to go to combat, minus a gun and ammo.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. Patches, medical stuff, every kind of brand and selection you can imagine they have.
It's essentially what I was trying to build with my brand or with my store.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
My whole idea was everything but the gun, you know?
Yeah, and that's essentially what they've done. I mean, they have customs, they have their own brand, like in-house brand, Abrams brand, where they literally make their stuff there. They have a contract with Cry for material, so which is not a common thing, nor is it easy to do. But I
Not at
believe
all.
he said they've had a contract with Cry for almost 10 years now. Importing specifically their genuine multicam materials and making genuine multicam things. He said they also have a policy where they don't accept anything in the store unless it's genuine material. Like, it has to be vetted first.
Yeah.
Like, we basically want people to come here and know that they're getting quality things. I did find a few things, this could have gotten lost in translation, but I did find some things that were not genuine multicam, but instead appeared to be, Scorpion? What's the actual army one?
OCP.
Yeah, but what's the pattern called? Hi, bud.
Hi.
Yeah, OCP.
Yeah.
And so there were some things that were not genuine multicam, but appeared to be genuine OCP. Which, in my opinion, is also perfectly acceptable. People a lot of times use it interchangeably, despite it not being interchangeable. But having a store where you can just know whatever you're buying is genuine, good quality stuff is just very nice. They have, I took some pictures, actually. Let me see if I can find them real quick. Hold on. If y'all want to talk for just a second or something, I'm gonna cut my monitor feed real quick so I can find this.
Cut the feed, bro.
Zach, would you like to introduce yourself? We are live.
Yeah.
I assume you
Welcome.
know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. I was texting you because I really didn't want to join, and my sound bite just to annoy the fuck out of everybody.
I mean, you do that anyway.
Oh wow. Okay. So anyway, if you don't hear the handgun already loading itself, a chamber. I'm Zach. I'm a very late autist to most of the parties that I am invited to, which is why I'm usually not invited to many of them. And I'm here for good vibes and to be the neighborhood-friendly autist that gets, claimed by Jamie's tax return. So, yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have some
I am
pictures.
back.
Welcome back. I have some
Whoa,
pictures to
Zach, where'd you
share.
come from?
Yeah, he popped in.
You missed it too because my soundbite when I joined, I didn't know if y'all were actually potting. It was Alex Jones just screaming.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's do. All right. Can y'all see my pictures in Discord on the Discord stream?
Definitely.
I assume it's showing up. I don't know for sure.
It is in fact showing up.
Okay.
That's a pretty nice store right there.
So this is the back room where basically it's like gray man / civilian clothing. Literally they had like a whole line of like Dickies stuff all the way to like some Patagonia and like North Face stuff. You know, some nicer,
that's cool.
more outdoor brands. Here's the boomer section. It's a bunch of like the hats on the left are actually really nice. There's everything from like Helican Tex hats to Pharaoh stuff, all the way to just like cheap 9-line stuff, or like Under Armour and Nike hats, baseball caps, stuff like that. And the right side is dedicated to half of those shirts are 9-line garbage. They also had some what is the other brand? Not Tactical Distributors. I don't know. They make like shorts and stuff, like different camo pattern shorts. Victos. There's also another one they had. I don't remember. Anyway,
Grunt style?
Nope. They did have Grunt style also. But no, it's another brand. I'll think of it later. But basically, they have like different short shorts and like bikinis, all that, and like different camo patterns.
You're talking about the guys that make the boxers or whatever? They started on boxers and then
maybe, yeah, I didn't know they made boxers, but it's quite possible.
Or it's the fun. It's like undies, but like they're called like a different name. It's like the matching cool uniform, or not, like the legacy camouflage, but they're underwear and bikinis or whatever.
Maybe that sounds about right. They also make shorts and like tank tops and stuff too. So maybe we're talking about the same one. I'm not sure.
I know quite a few do that. I know I have Combat Iron Apparel Ranger panties that
Is it Savage Tacticians?
Yeah.
Yeah, Savage is probably another one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Savage Tactician stuff, all that kind of stuff. Here is the armor room. So everything from Agilite armor, gross, to I think they had some Hoplite stuff, some different Ukrainian companies, some other European companies, as well as everything from all the different Ops Core styles to Team Windy to... I did not see any airframes. I saw some of the other Gentech stuff, as well as other European and Ukrainian brands as well. So that was pretty cool to see. They also had... you can't see the backside as well, but tons of different like custom armor inserts for different things. I know this will make Ian really hard. I think I showed him this specifically. But the latest and greatest from every comms manufacturer, including the brand new Peltors that just came out like a week before I was there. The brand new Comtacs. Bunch of stuff with everything from native.
Which we're on like what, 9 now? Is it 8 or 9?
A lot. I don't remember which one. It's the one on the bottom right with
so
the
many
bandage stuff.
So many Comtacs.
But Swordens, Comtacs, Earmore, the cheaper options. Swordens, MSA. I think I said that already. As well as, I don't know if it's in the picture, they had actual Invisio branded stuff as well. Like the what's Invisio's headset? I don't know what they're on right now. They have their own.
They call them the T series, yeah.
Yeah, they had that, as well as you can see like the V60, PTT, all the cabling imaginable, everything you need, as well as are they in? Yeah, there's a Motorola DMR down there too, and they had a couple others kind of scattered around too. Including even like the you can see in the open box down there at the bottom the Peltor actual PTT, which is a really sick option, but it's insanely expensive. It makes Invisio look cheap if I remember correctly. But everything you needed. And then on the right side is like all the helmet mounted stuff, everything from helmet lights to different rails, to night vision stuff like Wilcox mounts and everything else. Helmet cover section. There's their in-house brand, the Abrams brand, as well as their logo, of course. They have some really cool, innovative stuff, by the way. I would love to just pick some of it up and experiment around with stuff. Because that's one of the things where when you're in war, you just kind of have a tendency to continue to I just used the word. uh, Learn and update your stuff. What is that word? Innovate. So tons of cool innovative stuff, and as well as, Agilite, which, hot take, the only good Agilite product is their helmet cover. Here we have some danglers. I almost bought one of these. As Ian abruptly said, not on the podcast, but when we were talking about it, it's Shaw Concepts raid pouch we have at home. You can get them in 2 different sizes, with or without armor. And the armor inserts are replaceable. So you can take them in or out when you want to. It's a fanny pack hybrid. It's basically the Shaw Concepts. However, the only reason I ended up not buying it was I do not like the zipper. Because this is kind of going off personal experience, but there was one point we took some casualties and I was tasked, because I was the closest person, to start applying aid. And so I went to open my IFAK, which at the time was a Spiritus Dangler, a Mark IV. And the way the zipper opens, it doesn't really open enough, especially when you have it up under your armor, and I couldn't get the stuff out that I needed. So all of my danglers since then, I immediately replaced it, have been like completely zip around, or at least to where the whole kind of top opens up, more in like a V shape. And this does not do that, so you have to fight against the flap to get things out. And that's the only reason I ended up not buying one. But they're super sick, made in-house with all genuine stuff. Really cool, once again, innovative. Zach, I know you were a fan of this person. Look at the slings.
Yeah, what is this, a destroyer? Oh, I'm wondering. I followed this guy at one point. I'm pretty sure he got nuked on Instagram like 3 different times. I know he was an extra in the SCP film that they had.
Are those not Slaters?
No.
Oh,
I don't think
those
so.
were Slater slings.
No, I don't think they are.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought this whole time that those were Slaters. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I'll double check, but I don't think he. Maybe he did do them for a limited
I think
time.
he does slings.
I thought those were his this whole time.
They might be his original ones he ran, and then he stopped making them.
Now I'm curious too.
But I'm ready to check the site now, just in case. See, stickers, patches, no, that's their other stuff. Yeah, because it looks like he's pushing his nylon kit pretty hard now. Obviously, the suppressors are taking front of that. Has OMM just hit market again, or at least got a...
I just saw an old
What do you call
picture
it?
of him
Restock.
with GBRS stuff. Ew. That didn't age well.
Goobers.
Yeah, we don't do GBRS here. But anyway, all that to say, all the slings, everything from Pharaoh to Magpul to the Destroyer slings, which now is an unknown brand to us. We're assessing the situation.
Who?
What?
Yeah, he makes his own slings, but they don't have any designs on them, it looks like. They're just really basic. So
Which
I don't
ones
think they're
do they
slates.
have at the shop in Ukraine, Jamie?
The Destroyer slings. Wasn't it Slater's?
I don't believe
Yeah,
so.
I thought they were
I could be
Slaters, the
wrong about
Destroyer
that.
slings. The Destroyer. And then Killhouse is a Abrams thing. But I thought Destroyer was Slater. But anyway.
Dunno, mate.
The belt section.
G'day, mate.
I ended up picking up a belt myself to replace my Goobers belt. I am already much happier with it. And it's a in-house Ukrainian brand called War Spirit. Super cool budget oriented, but with all genuine multicam and cover buckles and hardware. But yeah, all the different belt options. Check out this backpack I found, this back panel I found. It's for FPV drones. or folding like Mavic Minis and stuff. Thought that was pretty cool. Got all the Altimas. Not to be confused with the Altimas and the Taltimas and the Smaltimas from Nissan, but the boots.
Oh, you mean the ones that are supposed to be American made, but they're made in fucking Croatia or
Are they really?
Where are they made? Yeah, the one I bought a pair of their AR670-1 compliant boots. It's I can't remember what model it is, but it's the steel toe ones with the 3M Thinsulate.
Mm-hmm.
And they're made in Cambodia. That's where they're made. Yeah.
Cambodia. Wow.
Cambodia.
Well, that's disappointing. But
Yeah.
dude, I had someone call these Altamas the other day.
That's actually what they're called.
Apparently,
Are
that's
you
how you're
serious?
supposed to pronounce
Oh,
it.
dude, I feel
Yeah,
so
you
stupid now. I laughed at
you
it.
didn't know?
According to
Yeah.
the people that make them, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
I'm not
But I
calling them
can't
that.
bring myself to
I
do that.
I call them
so.
Altimas because it's a good in between.
Well, I feel stupid now. I'm sorry to the person I
Now,
laughed at the
I
other
will
day.
say, those boots might be made in Cambodia, but they were pretty decent. They served me very well on the FTX. I just didn't like the fact that they were steel toe.
I wore my Maritimes in Ukraine for the first 5 months there until they really just started to fall apart and hurt my feet.
So what you're saying is they weren't made for walking?
No, and they also just wore out. But no, those shoes
Yeah, I
aren't
was-
made for walking. They're made for swimming.
Yeah, I didn't do much. When I wore them at this FTX, I didn't do much like hiking or rucking and whatnot. It was like we were really just dug into a fighting position, and I just needed a pair of waterproof boots because it was supposed to rain, and it did. It torrential downpour. Fucking 2 of my soldiers got hypothermia.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how easy it is to get hypothermia if it's only 40 degrees outside if it's raining.
Especially if it's wet, yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
It shall.
Yeah.
Here's the legendary Corinthia brand. Incredible jackets. I showed the person I was with these and the price tag, and she was blown away and couldn't believe a jacket could actually cost that much. Here's the Agilite section, the Pharaoh section, the Cry section, which you could buy a complete AVS. I don't know a store in the US where you can just go in and buy a complete AVS rig.
There's only a couple of them, and most of them have the Cry logo over the door.
Yep, this one does also. Oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
But what
That's
store can you
very
go that
interesting.
has a Cry next to a Pharaoh next to an Agilite, which we don't really care about Agilite, but Pharaoh and Cry side by side.
Oh, I did see another Slickster out in the wild. The medic that was attached with us was wearing a Slickster.
Dude, I miss my Slickster so much. I'm very sad.
I love
it got
mine. I just
stolen
don't
from
wear
me.
it a lot anymore because it's fucking Ranger green, and I don't want people to think I'm a goddamn Fed.
Yep. No Ice Agents
This is
here.
not the time to be wearing Ranger green plate
No.
carriers.
The ice green. But yeah, you could walk out of here with a complete Slickster, a complete FCPC, AVS, JPC, CPC, as well as whatever the Agilite garbage is. What is that, K19 or whatever? And then this is that War Spirit brand I was saying. This is their stuff. They've kind of taken some different design choices from all of them and have kind of combined them. Kind of cool. But definitely more budget oriented. Let's see. Can I zoom out of this? Yeah. Clothing section. Or, well, combat clothing section. And then look at this pants section. Incredible. It's like the cleanest thing ever.
Hold on, let me open the cord.
Oh, wait, have you not been able to see this whole time?
No, I've been doing something else, but
Those Bollock slings, by the way, or I'm sorry, the slings that were Destroyer, they're made by a company called Bollock that seem to be out of Ukraine, so it's probably just a local distribution that they wanted to do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I
I've
really
seen them
thought
everywhere
they
in
had-
the U.S.
Yeah, it might be just a Ukraine thing, but that's the only thing I can find on it. So unless it's a copy of something that was originally discontinued by the one maker, and they're just redoing it and unchallenged for the time being,
Interesting.
they're the only ones I can find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Thanks for checking.
Yeah, because it could have been Slade. Sometimes he made a couple of products right before he found Orthodoxy, and then he just discontinued some of those because he had better plans. Or it could have been Instagram guy or two that made them, got pretty popular, and then that page got nuked or whatever, and then someone found the design and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna make these."
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for checking. I will look into that more then. Interesting. Here's the pants section. Anything else? Oh, doxing some people. And that's it. I was very disappointed with hold on, let me cut this monitor. I will call Abrams out publicly for this because it really made me mad.
No, did it make you angry?
I think I showed this to you guys. The patch that I found there.
I can't see the stream, so.
Hold on. I'm searching on their website now. Oh my goodness, I can't type. Oh, never mind. I was spelling it wrong. Because I have no idea.
Oh, you mean that patch? Okay.
I thought you said Weast.
Yeah, so they had this patch on their patch wall.
Huh, interesting.
And I was very upset about it.
Very
What is it?
interesting.
It's the Africa Corpse patch, but instead of
Core, not corpse.
or
Yeah.
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 The P
It's
is
the Marine
silent.
Corps, not
Yeah.
the Marine Corps.
Africa Corps, but with a K.
I'm
Yeah, I got
sorry,
you.
I'm actually retarded.
Yeah, that's like calling someone an ussy because the P is silent.
What?
I don't want to be here anymore.
What?
God damn it, Zach.
Yeah, an ussy because the P is silent.
So and
Was that not a straightforward joke?
let's read the description on this, shall we? The Hoffman Equipment Africa Corps patch is a camouflage tactical accessory. This serves not only as a stylish addition to your gear, but also emphasizes the spirit of expeditions and endurance.
Huh, that's
Hell yeah, brother.
that's neat.
The embroidered contrasting palm.
That's the first thing that comes to mind when you tell me, or when Rommel. Yeah, for
I
sure.
want to go on
Yeah.
expeditions. Yeah, and honestly, this looks so AI written. So, oh, dude, hold on. What is it in Ukraine? How does this translate? Let's look in Ukrainian.
How much is that? 400 whatever.
400. That should be like $10. Yeah,
okay.
exactly $10.
Jesus Christ, that's a poor ass country.
But yeah, I wonder if this is just like an AI translation. But very interesting. As we have talked about on the podcast, yes, there are Nazis in Ukraine, just like there are in the U.S., and there are many in Russia too. However, Ukraine was an interesting situation in World War II because, in many ways, there were Ukrainians that fought for the Germans, there were Ukrainians that fought for the Russians, and there were some extremely based Ukrainians that fought both sides at the same time. Which I don't really think you can get any more base than that. Because there was actually, even during World War II until now, there has been a relatively large anarchist community in Ukraine. And that's just, we can all agree, it's extremely
That's
based.
Ukraine and the surrounding countries were where a lot of anarchists fled to after the Bolshevik Revolution.
Yes. So, shout out to our based anarchist Ukrainian brothers. They'd be very upset at this patch. Ukraine in many ways saw the Nazis as saviors to Stalin, and that is why many of them fought. And there's just still lots of historical problems, honestly, as far as like beliefs and things like that. So we've talked about it before. Yes, there's Nazis there. No, not every Ukrainian is a Nazi by a long shot, but the ones that are will definitely be wearing things like this Africa Corps patch. So yeah, I was very disappointed in them for having that on their website. And in the store, of course. Like I saw it in the store, and I literally.
I was about to say, didn't you say you saw it up on the wall too?
Yeah, it was
like
on their patch wall in their store. And honestly, in hindsight, I should have said something. Also, here's a little
But
funny
I mean,
thing.
at the same time, the culture there, if you'd have said something there, they'd have been like, "Get the fuck out of here, fucking."
I don't think so.
They'd been like,
they-
"This goddamn American."
Well, you'd honestly be quite surprised the ignorance there. Like, legitimately. Like, oh, what do you mean? I didn't... Like, there would honestly be some people that would tell you at that store that they actually had no idea, and they're being completely honest. Then there would be other people that would actually be, like... I had one guy... I think I've told this story before. I was north of Kyiv, close to Chernobyl. I was, like, 20 kilometers from the Belarus border. And, this old guy kept trying... We were training soldiers at the time, and this older guy kept trying to invite us in his house. And this younger kid that was like helping him was like, "No, come on, you have to. You know, it's really not polite to keep saying no like for the whole week." And we're like, "All right, whatever." And we walk in, and there is not just a big flag, but the biggest flag I have ever seen that was not flying over a camping world on his wall, and it was a Nazi flag. It was literally
That
Oh.
the
not
red
flying
flag
over
with
camping
the swastika on the middle, and it was probably like a 6 foot tall by like 10-foot wide flag or something. I was like, oh my goodness. We walk in this guy's door, and we immediately see it, and we like all look at each other like there's like 4 of us Americans there, and we're like, yeah, we need to go.
Oh.
And we literally were just like, dude, there's no way. And yeah. And then we had another.
How old was this guy?
Oh,
was
old.
Was there a chance that he might have actually?
Like,
is there a chance that
original?
flag might be an original?
Oh yeah, that was an original flag. I do believe it was an old flag. Old
Yikes.
flag. He was not that. He would have to have been. No, he was not that old. So but it easily could have been like his dad's. Like easily, he was probably in his 60s. So too young for World War II, but definitely could have been his dad's during the war for sure. And it was not a trophy, to be clear. Like I have Russian patches on my patch wall back here. That was not a trophy flag. He was waving that very proudly on his wall.
Yeah.
And then there was
that was like not like a look what I did, as in a look what I believe type thing.
Exactly. There's another guy, I still talk to this person. Awesome. No, I can't say that. Cool guy. But helped me a lot, and our team, and is single-handedly responsible for some of our successful operations. We're like talking one day, and he's like, "I'm a Nazi." And we're like, "What?" And it gets confusing because, like, when you say Slava Nazi in like Ukrainian, you're basically saying like glory to the nation. Like it's a nationalistic thing. Which nationalism in and of itself can have serious issues and implications, as we've talked about on the podcast before. But it gets kind of confusing because saying Slava Nazi in Ukrainian does not mean you are a like swastika Nazi. That just means, you know, you're
That's just the word that
yes.
Yeah.
So he sits down and he's like, "I'm a Nazi," and I was like, "Interesting. That might explain some things." And one of the guys like, "No. That's not the right
It's
word."
like how the name, the Spanish word for the color black You know,
Is-
like
yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is the same word, but it's not the same word.
Same, but different. But and we're talking, and I was like, yeah. And then one of the guys like, no, you're not. And he's like, yes, I am. He's like, no, that you're just getting the words confused. He's like, no, I am a Nazi.
No,
And
no.
we're like,
You don't tell me what I am.
But at the same time, like I said, that is not all Ukrainians. There were other Ukrainians there with us that were like, yeah, don't listen to him. He's literally an idiot. Like his beliefs are not good. Like we don't agree with him at all, and he's an outlier. Like that's not what I believe. That's not what most of us believe. But then there will literally be some of them that are just like I said, you know, a 6x10 Nazi flag on their wall. I'm a Nazi, kind of thing. So, and I think personally, we would see more of that in the U.S. too if there was some kind of like crisis. I think some of those people would come out of the woodwork more. And case in point, look at some of the issues. Different soft teams, like
Yeah.
are getting in trouble for right now. It's just, I don't know. A lot of that culture is pro-violence, and by no means am I saying because you're pro-violence or
If
violence of
I'm not
action.
mistaken, we mentioned the company Savage Tacticians got brought up early. If I'm not mistaken, somebody who used to be a model for them, they got caught covering or editing his tattoos out for their product photos.
Oof.
Because they were yeah, there were
Aryan,
some
Yeah.
unsavory
Aryan tattoos, yeah.
I believe it was Savage Tacticians. I could be wrong, but if it wasn't them, it was a company very similar to them.
And I would also just like to say, too, rolling back just a little bit to the individual where he was like, I'm a Nazi, and we're like, no, and he's like, no, I am. He was blown away. So if we go back many episodes ago, we had Elon as a guest speaker on our podcast who is mixed, racially mixed, black and white. And it blew this Ukrainian's mind that he was there helping them. He's like, I can't believe like a black person would come like do something.
I mean,
It's like-
it's because they've never met anybody that's not white before.
Yeah.
You know, so they meet
It-
a black person, they meet an Asian person, they meet a Latino person, and because they have never actually met them, they have these preconceived notions.
Mhm. That's what I'm
Like,
getting at.
I mean, yeah, it's shitty and it's not right, but to some extent, that's not their fault because it's the culture that they were raised in.
Yes.
Because I mean, and you can see then, having experienced meeting other people, they, then change their belief system,
Mhm.
if they can still after that, continue to have those same beliefs, same bigoted beliefs that they were raised on, then that's on them 100%. But
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly would agree with that. And it's interesting because like you don't realize it. And obviously you watching this might not be a black person going to Ukraine to fight. But like just because something is a certain way in like your social bubble doesn't mean that is completely different in someone else's and you have no idea. Like just because it's a social norm for you and your friend group and family doesn't mean that it is for someone else or is or isn't.
Yeah.
And that's just something that like none of us there had ever even thought about that. Like I can count on probably two hands the amount of black people I saw in Ukraine. And that's just like a norm for them. To them, it's just not a common thing. But then just seeing this guy who self-identified as a Nazi say, hey, like, I can't believe you're here. That's crazy. Like, why would you do that? What, like, I would love to think that has permanently somewhat altered his conceived perception of black people, because here a black individual came from across the world to help him out of literally the kindness of his heart, essentially. And, that stuck with this person. So that's just really cool. And it kind of makes you see things a little bit differently. And try to think of it from different angles. Just because it's normal for you doesn't mean it's normal for someone else.
And
Good.
go ahead.
No, I'm changing topic slightly.
Oh, and I was just saying, yeah, just in like, again, the fact that after meeting them, they then change their beliefs and be like, oh, okay, I had it figured out all wrong. That's,
Yeah.
obviously that's the right thing to, like, that's not on them. It's on their, again, the way they were raised and brought up. But,
Yeah.
again, if after that point you can still be like, still have your bigoted racist opinions after that, then that's on you. Then you're just a piece of shit.
One quick thing I found really funny. If we go back over to the Abrams website, if you look at the languages on the top right, it's English with an American flag, Ukrainian with the Ukraine flag, and Russian with no flag next to it. I laughed so hard about that, and I didn't think about that until I saw it. I was like, yeah, they're obviously not going to put a Russian flag, because there's a large portion of Ukrainians that still speak Russian, and they're not going to put a Russian flag next to the language on their Ukrainian website. So I thought that was funny. All right, I'm done with Ukraine topics. We want to talk about Iran?
And I ran.
I ran so far away.
We pulled a Russia, and we have a what was it called? Military operation, not war.
Special
very
military
clear.
operation.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not at war. Not at war, guys.
according to
Even though he
Speaker
wants
Mike
an unconditional surrender.
which
How do you
I
surrender
hope
if you're not at
someone-
war?
is
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
all these notes on Trump's speeches. Every time Trump talks about the incident in Iran right now, he uses the terminology of war. He's made several comments about, like, people die
The
in war,
war.
and that's why people are dying, or the war in
Yeah.
Iran,
Yeah.
or this and that. And then every
Well,
single,
also, here's the
PR
thing.
person that is, reading
The people
speeches
who have
doesn't call it war.
the people whose loved ones have died as collateral damage in airstrikes, ask them whether or not they think it's war.
My
It's like
guess would
having a
be
PC president, but instead of
You
him
see
being
what I'm
PC
saying?
for, the typical reasons, it's him being PC for warmongering reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also had an epiphany when they were like, I think it was Hegseth was like, yeah, we're predicting this military operation to last slightly longer than expected, up to 100 days. I was like, yes, day number 1,400 of Putin's 3-day special military operation.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean that again, that's since it's been almost every conflict since Vietnam, I mean, you can even argue Korea was that way, because I mean, the Korean War never officially ended,
That's true.
and we're still there,
That is true.
I
need to go get something to drink.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's wild to me that people can still see this. Like, of course, like the politicians are gonna say what they're gonna fucking say. But it's wild to me that people can still sit here and defend. Like, everyday people can still sit here and defend and be like, "Oh yeah, no, they're right though. It's not a war." And it's just like, well, then what the fuck is it?
It's a military operation.
What the fuck are we doing?
Special military operation.
Yeah.
I had someone message me on Instagram. I will not say who it is. I did send it to you guys. And I will read their text reel because it's laughable at best.
Was it the?
Yes,
Was it a fellow?
hold on, where is it? This person also has not responded to me. So I put on my Instagram story the quote of Speaker Mike Johnson saying it's not a war, it's a military operation, and then literally me saying that they're taking a book out of the Russian playbook. His response to my story: genuine question, Jamie. How should the U.S. have responded to the 35,000 people who were murdered by the Iranian regime for daring to want to change their leadership? How would you respond to that if you were president? And basically,
I wouldn't have killed more of their fucking civilians, first of all.
And this, I don't know this person's...
Seems like a perfectly reasonable response to me. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. It seemed, when you start off genuine question, Jamie, and then proceed to basically ask a very one-sided, not genuine question, it's not a very genuine question. But, I'll read what I said, and that'll kind of be my entire belief on this, and we can kind of talk about it more, or y'all can share your thoughts. I said, well, there are a lot of different ways to look at it, and it's really complex. If I were president, I would do what the American people want, while also helping the Iranians in need if possible. Send aid if accepted, negotiating, etc. And if Iran refuses, well, unfortunately, that sucks for them. 35,000 people is a lot. There are clearly a lot of people there that want freedom and change, but it's not my job as American president to start a war with a sovereign country over the freedom of some of their people. Especially since it is illegal for me to declare war, to begin with. While I have no statistics or numbers on this, it is very clear while a lot of Iranians do want to be free from their government, there are obviously a lot that don't. The proof of this is that their entire government has now been destroyed and collapsed, yet they keep fighting. Even if they were only loyal out of fear, then they would have stopped fighting when their present government collapsed, and his replacement, etc. were killed. It's evident many want nothing to do with the U.S. or Israel. That was an important follow-up there. The last poll I saw showed only 27% of Americans agree with what is happening, and even less feel they're being told the entire truth about it. There were a lot of other issues with what is happening. For nearly 3 decades, we've been told Iran is 3 weeks away from nuclear weapons. Many of those statements were from Israel, which is well-known secret has illegal nuclear weapons. Also, allegedly, we obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program in July. Obliterated was Trump's quote.
And yet...
yet we're still weeks away.
Guys, I swear, Iran's gonna have weapons is gonna have nuclear weapons within the next 90 days. I know I've been saying this every 2 months since 2006, but I swear I mean it this time, guys.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Except that was a lie because intelligence proved that is incorrect almost immediately. Like within days of us claiming we obliterated it, we immediately found evidence through satellite imagery showing Iran moving all of its enriched uranium, or uranium at all, I don't even know if they'd enriched it yet, away from the sites that we blew up. The Pentagon briefed Congress after the attacks, these current attacks, not the ones in July, that Iran posed no, quote, no immediate threat to the U.S. Marco Rubio comes out and says that basically we did it for Israel. I believe it was then Trump said something like, Israel was going to attack, so we decided we should attack first to avoid further casualties. They continue to say things like, it's not a war, it's an operation, which they are trying to find a loophole in wording, just like Russia has tried to do with Ukraine. 35,000 may be a lot, but look at the number of civilians killed in Gaza. It's more than double, with some or many of them being fellow Christians. While the Israeli PM is wanted for war crimes, we continue to fund and defend them, or in this case, start a war alongside them that has cost American lives, which is 7 as of this evening, by the way. Someone passed away from their wounds.
Yes, I did hear that. That's very, very
Not
tragic.
to mention, Trump and his staff have gone on for years about anti-war and their board of peace. How other presidents are stupid and will go to war with Iran because they don't know how to negotiate and their polls are down, etc. I can break all this apart and go on for hours talking about it, but it boils down to I'm anti-authoritarian, which means I am by nature anti-Iranian, or anti... Excuse me. No. Which means by nature I'm anti-Iran regime, but I also think that it is not our job to start an illegal war that a majority of Americans don't want while costing American lives. It didn't work in Afghanistan, Iraq, our dealings with the Mexican cartels, and half the other Middle Eastern countries. Like, what, Sudan, Jordan?
Sudan, Syria, Libya.
Syria, yeah, like all
Yeah.
of them.
Syria,
Um,
especially.
Yeah.
Jesus.
On occasion,
mean,
we
I
managed
mean,
to
look
pull
at
it off.
The Syria situation right now is fucking atrocious. But,
Yeah, we're still Syria's still a mess.
yeah.
On occasion, we manage to pull it off, but that isn't the norm. It always comes back to haunt us. If, capital if, I knew that it was done in good faith, we had a plan, we are genuinely doing it for human rights and not for greed, power, wealth, etc., I could actually be much more willing to see things differently. But we as Americans continue to get lied to, manipulated, and gaslit while our own rights get stripped away and we have people that cannot drink their water from the toxic waste in it. If people want to volunteer or go fight against Iran, that's one thing. But being forced into or die for something that statistically you and most of your country doesn't believe in is disgusting. That's it.
It's very much. I'm probably have said this on this podcast before, but it's very much like Iraq 2.0.
Yeah.
Why'd we invade Iraq?
Literally. Weapons
know,
of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass
WMDs.
destruction.
Which was
didn't
Israeli
have.
intelligence.
What did we find in Iraq?
No WMDs.
No weapons of mass destruction. But you know what we did find when we were there? Oil. It's we're literally doing the same thing. Just instead of the blanket statement weapons of mass destruction, they're just saying, nuclear weapons. It's like, are we gonna find nuclear weapons there? Probably the fuck not. But you know what we are gonna find while we're there? Fucking oil.
And
Dead people?
taking out dead children from a school that allegedly has been proven now to be a U.S. Tomahawk missile that struck it.
Yeah.
There's a Pete Hegseth quote about, this was from 2024, of him saying how over and over we go to the Middle East. I basically stole a line from him in that text I sent to this individual. He's like, over and over we go to insert a list of countries in the Middle East. He's like, we rarely get it right. He's like, it always just causes us more problems when we get involved in the Middle East. And yet,
Brother, you said the quiet part out
Yeah.
loud.
yeah,
you're
here he
the
is.
one doing it.
So yeah.
It's so people are, and of course, not just one person, but this whole administration has been coming out and saying, U.S. service members are probably going to die, and that's okay because that is
The Lord
And that's
Farquaad
okay.
much
speech.
we're willing to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Lord,
but,
literally the Lord Farquaad speech.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
you see men like this is
Word
a
for
direct
word, bar for
quote-
bar.
This is a direct quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower. I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can. Only as one who has seen its brutality, its futility, and its stupidity. Like, that's a real leader. Like, that. Not somebody who's like, oh, yeah, people are going to fucking die. Whereas, I don't know if you've ever met anybody who's lost any commander, whether that be a team leader up to a brigade commander that has lost people under their command in combat. They feel like they just failed. Like they're people who now for the rest of their lives they have those consciences, or they have those souls on their conscience, and will now never know peace again without working very hard to find it.
Yes. Yeah, and I would like to read a quote from someone else, another very famous war hero. War is ugly, it smells bad, and if anyone's ever been there and been able to smell the war that's happened around you and taste it and feel it in your nostrils and hear it, it's something that you'll never forget, and it's ugly. Senator Markwayne Mullen, the new DHS secretary who has never been to war.
Yeah.
Or in the military in any capacity. And that is our new Department of Homeland Secretary, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only person less qualified than Pete Hegseth. The ultimate DUI hire.
DUI. Yeah, but it's appalling to me that anybody who says, "Oh yeah, well yeah, people are going to die," and that's just that's okay.
People will die, says
anybody who
the
said-
multiple-time draft dodger.
Anybody who says that needs to, when you say that, you are no longer a public servant.
Yeah.
Like you should have every title stripped from you, every
So, obviously,
privilege
I
you
was
have.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were done. My bad. I was
you're
watching. I wasn't there. I was not at war in the Middle Ages. But I've been watching Lord of the Rings recently, and I was appalled by. Of course, yes, I know this is a movie. I don't know for sure this is how it worked in real life, but from the stories I've read and history books, it does seem that way. The kings riding into battle with their men. I was like, dude, why have we lost this?
Yeah.
What has happened? Because the moment that the joint attack on Iran from Israel and the US, guess who fled Israel?
Precisely.
Mr. Bibi.
If you are not willing to be the tip of the spear and be the first one to charge into battle yourself,
Maybe you
then
shouldn't be starting
you
it.
do not. Then you actually
Then
don't
literally shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually don't support the fucking war.
And to be clear, I do not support the draft. I think I've made that very clear on this podcast before. If you don't want to go fight, you should not be forced to go fight. However, with that said, guess who is exempt from the draft? Mr. DJT's son, Baron.
I mean,
Because of
Oh,
some
what's his
medical thing.
excuse?
Allegedly a medical issue.
well, I
allegedly.
mean, his dad is.
Not a surprise
also
from the son of Mr. Bone Spurs.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to say his dad is a documented draft dodger.
Correct.
So,
That's
which
what
I mean,
getting
I
at.
don't like. I mean, like I get it. Draft dodging at that point in time, I respect most people that burned their draft cards.
Honestly, same.
But you
Yeah.
can't sit here. You can't have done that and then now.
Start
have-
very similar
and-
wars to Vietnam. Like,
Yeah,
legitimately very similar situations. Vietnam was not a popular war. Like, I don't remember the
Absolutely not,
statistic,
yeah.
but it was a very low percentage of people that support Americans that supported Vietnam.
Yeah, to the point that they had to do a false flag to get people to support it.
Oh yeah. I
Weird.
forgot about that. That's wild.
Weird.
That's wild.
Crazy how that shit works out.
Maybe we should be on the lookout for something like that
Yep.
nowadays.
Property of Allah, or whatever his shirt said.
Something to consider when you're watching the news these days.
And yeah, it's like
real,
I said
real
before.
easy when the real easy when the suspect has his motive on his t-shirt.
Literally
too
fucking
easy.
printed across his
A little
chest.
too
Yeah.
easy when the suspect has their motive on the t-shirt.
What, dude? They hit him with the triple whammy. It was, what was it? A property of Allah hoodie, or Allah hoodie,
Yeah.
and then underneath
Yeah.
was a shirt with the Iranian flag, and
Yeah,
then
and
in
then there was
his
a Quran
car,
in
it
his
was
car.
like a prayer mat and his Quran.
Insane.
Like the triple
Dude,
threat.
fucking
If-
every time, dude.
if y'all didn't get the hints by now, he's
I'm
definitely
surprised
Muslim and from
his
Iran.
name wasn't like Muhammad Iranian or some shit like that. Like
Yeah. Wild, dude. I saw. I think this is okay to say. It's legitimately a joke, and I hope no one on here actually believes me. But if y'all follow, I know you guys have seen it. Like a better way to 2A. If you follow his comments across like gun Instagram community on basically how all school shooters are trans, and trans people are the mass shooters of the world, blah blah blah, and then statistically like it's a very low percentage. The amount of people that when that shooting happened, it was like small win for trans people. It finally wasn't them. And then the whole racist gun community being like, oh, of course he was black. It's like, oh my goodness. Like, we literally can't go a day without hating on the trans and black gun owners of America. Highly recommend following A Better Way to 2A. Great guys, and support gun ownership for not just gun ownership, but gun training and everything in the gun community for everyone. So don't forget the Second Amendment is not just for you or the average white person. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it special. But yeah. Iran's crazy, dude. Everything going on there. The New York Times, from my understanding, has essentially verified. I'm not going to say no for sure because I'm not the one that dug up the proof and I didn't see all of the proof that they had gathered. But that the school, the girls' school, Iranian girls' school, was confirmed to be hit by the U.S. by a Tomahawk missile.
Surprise,
It
surprise.
was, I think, 175. Like, I think the death toll was originally like 150 or like 70s and rose to 150 and is now up to like 175 on that, which is just wild.
Most of which are children because it was a school.
Yes. And Caroline Levitt was like, we didn't do that because we don't target civilians. The only country that targets civilians is Iran. And just like continue to double down on that.
I was about to say,
then,
it's actually Israel.
Oh, dude, did y'all see? Oh my goodness, did y'all see the video of the Israeli paratroopers in? Where was that?
Lebanon.
Lebanon in the middle of the night, and per the intelligence sources of Instagram and Reddit, they were absolutely getting their cheeks clapped. And
yes,
all
the
of
intelligence
comments,
committee of
yeah, the independent intelligence communities of Reddit and Instagram, allegedly that they were absolutely getting destroyed on the ground, and all of the comments were like, "That's what happens when you actually have to fight people that are armed and not women and children."
Right.
That's what happens when you don't just level miles of apartment buildings filled with literally nothing but civilians.
Guys,
Yeah.
I have a
loves
300.
Fighting fucking starving children with rocks.
I have a 500
Everybody loves
KDR.
to talk about school shooters in America, but nobody talks about the Israelis literally dropping cruise missiles on schools.
Right.
And I guess that, I guess they weren't the only ones now. So
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I think as a American, we are very largely responsible for the horrendous things happening in Gaza and Palestine. Like, we are giving them the money, funding, and weapons to support that.
Yeah.
Also, that same person that sent me the message about, what would I do as president, was the same one in 2023. Apparently, I had something on my story about Israeli war crimes, and he replied to that story, said, "Send me some Israeli war crimes." Like, okay. I did.
it's also
How
that
much
time
time do
they
you have?
fired on a music festival with an Apache fucking helicopter and then claimed it was Hamas.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oof. Yeah.
IDF's greatest hits.
The Hamas Apache that they tactically acquired from the Israeli air base or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a joke. Oh, let's talk about the Iranian war game ship that we decided to evaporate.
Yeah.
I think both those words are applicable.
Same difference.
Jamie,
Same
you
stuff.
own a boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You have a larger navy than Iran does right now. So.
I was trying to be wholesome here.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, my boat barely floats, but it actually floats. Yeah, so from what I have read, Iran was taking part of, what do we call it? A war game? Was that what it officially was called?
Joint training exercise.
Yeah, war game. With many other
With
countries.
Sri Lanka.
It was hosted by, you said Sri Lanka? I thought it was India.
It might have been hosted by India, but it was Sri Lanka were the ones that dug the Iranians or that got them out of the ocean.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the actual training exercise was hosted by India, but don't quote me. I don't remember the country it was hosted by. The U.S. was also invited to it, and from the way it was worded, the U.S. accepted the invite, and then at the last minute didn't show up because of, the Iranian thing. Well, the Iranian ship left the exercise, which, due to it being an exercise, you can't have live munitions. That would be like going to, your sim round. That'd be like going to play airsoft and then bringing your real weapon and shooting all the
my
kids.
Mark 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't bring live fire ammunition to the exercise. So they were completely defenseless, and then the U.S. proceeded to sink the ship, and then refuse to get the survivors out of the water. And a Sri Lankan ship had to come rescue the Iranians from drowning, and I think still over half the crew died or is unaccounted for. Because the U.S. knowingly sunk an unarmed, defenseless ship and then refused to rescue the survivors. Like, dude,
Yeah.
we treated like the Nazis and the Japanese better in World War II.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to like that warrior ethos, that lethality
Not the warrior ethos and soldier lethality.
that Pete Hegseth talks about, that has been like long-standing centuries of respecting like your enemy combatants, not killing, people surrendering, helping those like there's true stories from World War II or even way before of specifically the World War II one was the German pilot escorting the like battered B-17 back. Do y'all know that story? Really cool story. Like stuff like that. Like, what happened to that? Instead, we're just gonna sink people with no guns or ammunition and then leave them to die in the water. Like, for centuries.
And talk about how they're the bad guys.
Yeah, and then continue to paint them as, the evil people of the world. Well, for centuries or millenniums, we have, like, respected our enemy combatants to the point of, like, I don't know. It makes me so upset. Like, as someone that has given aid to enemy combatants, that's sickening
What are
to think
you,
of.
some
Just-
kind of sissy snowflake liberal?
Yeah. Like that's the equivalent of like you going you're in a firefight. You win the firefight but you manage to somehow not kill any of the guys you were fighting, and they're all bleeding out on the floor with no guns. And you proceed to not give them first aid.
Doctrine states, due to, I believe it's the Articles of the War, that, and this is basic training in any branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. If you shoot somebody and don't kill them, your medic now has to render aid to that person.
Yeah.
It's just like a human thing.
Like that. Yeah. So like the why?
Provided they're no longer a combatant, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
which obviously they were never combatants to begin with,
Yeah, they
because
were
they were
never- yeah.
completely unarmed.
We've been blowing a lot of shit up in the oceans lately.
A lot of, by Navy standards, unarmed vessels. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I would
anybody
love-
who's like, oh, but the cartel guys had guns, like, okay, 6 fucking dudes in a go fast with small arms is not a threat to a fucking U.S. Navy destroyer. Like, shut up.
Precisely, dude.
from hundreds of miles away.
Even if they were right on top of them, like, you can shoot a fucking AK at the side of a battleship
Yeah.
all day, and it's not gonna
The,
do anything.
Their AK-47s posed a direct threat to the F-35 overhead.
For sure, for sure.
I was gonna say. Oh, what was I gonna say? I just forgot.
Then I might.
I was gonna say something cool, but then I forgot what it was. I don't know. We'll circle back. Also, the F-15 is no longer undefeated.
Oh my, yeah. Sad face.
Shout out
Lol.
to the Kuwait
Shot down by a
F-18.
Kuwaiti F-15.
Just made it 60% to an ace in minutes.
What a Chad. What a Chad of a pilot, also.
the ghost of Kuwait.
He has a better record against the U.S. Air Force than I think any other combat pilot at this point.
I don't have any evidence of this, nor have I seen anything official stating this. This is just, I literally heard this chatting with some guys I play Arma with on Discord. Allegedly, per him, is that your sewing machine?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. The grind
What the fuck is that?
Apparently, per this individual, they were shot down with heat seekers and not even radar locks. So basically, it was just like, oh, I found a target. Like, he fired, and then it locked onto the F-15s. I don't know if that's true.
Incredible. Sensational work, sir. Well done.
But yeah, F-16 no longer has a flawless track record, so RIP.
You mean F-15?
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
want you to
F-15.
know how
Well,
proud
the
we are.
F-16 The F-16 doesn't either.
For other
To be clear.
reasons.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Balkans.
Yes.
You guys
Well-
have ever seen the movie Behind Enemy Lines? That really happened, although it was an F-16, not an F.
Same, but slightly different. Also, the video of, there's a few pictures. There's the lady pilot, who, honestly, I think handled that situation incredibly well. And then she also just happened to land with people that, like, obviously knew that a woman pilot wasn't Iranian. So they were, like,
And then
super nice to her.
Have you
The
seen
guys,
the videos of the one of the male pilots? The fucking
that's
locals
what
are,
I'm getting at.
fucking beating him with sticks and throwing rocks at him.
He literally has a pipe, and he's like,
Whole girl's getting a fucking hero's welcome.
he's literally like,
That is
I'm
awesome.
American, and he's like pointing to his patch, and they're all like, oh.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
But the one with the girl, the guy was so sweet. He's like, can we get you anything? Can we do anything to help you? He's like, do you need anything? And he just like keeps asking her questions. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm okay. I'm okay, thanks. Meanwhile, the whole time she has her pistol. I think it's on her, under her left arm, and she's just kind of like, meh. I might need this. But yeah, the American guy was so chill too, because he was like, no, I'm American. See. Meanwhile, all these
Dude,
dudes are
stop,
like you said, holding
stop.
pipes.
Stop throwing shit at me,
Yeah,
please.
But dude, I made a comment on, it may have been to you guys or like an Instagram thing. It was like the average US cop would have been trying to like rationalize killing every single one of those people because he feared for his life. Like
Absolutely.
literally, don't ever let a cop tell you, like, if you have seen combat, do not ever let a cop tell you that like he had to shoot everyone there because he feared for his life when he had absolutely no reason to. He feared for his life because he has no training.
Precisely. Well, I mean, we're seeing that now. ICE training has gone down significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the training has been cut down to I think like 3 weeks, which is fucking insane. Any
Sick.
regular police academy is like I want to say at least 3 months.
No,
It's
a
8
lot of
weeks.
them are not even that. There's still a lot less than
It's
that.
8 weeks.
Okay, 6 to 8 weeks.
Because
But,
So
which is
the
not
fact
enough.
that
But
you are
still,
able-
like,
the
you can
fact that
become a
you are
federal
able to
agent
be a
in less than half the
federal
time.
agent,
Yeah.
the South Carolina Highway Patrol Academy is like 5 times longer than that.
and they're still retarded. Oh, I can't say the R word. The hard R word.
It's fucking, and of course that's evident. We see them not only shooting civilians but also shooting each other themselves.
Yeah. Like, shout out to the cops that there's videos of, like, talking down armed suspects. Or, you know, like,
Yeah.
actually doing their job and de-escalating situations that other people would have just shot. Like, don't tell me you feared for your life unless, like, I don't know, they're running at you with meth needles or, you know, like, crazy different
Yeah.
things. Don't just say, oh yeah, he was like,
Even then, I've been in that situation before. Had a firearm on me, and didn't use it.
Yeah.
Didn't even draw it.
I had
That's
someone,
I was working at a hospital at the time, but
it's still applicable though. Like,
It
we
is,
can
like,
laugh,
it-
it's still applicable.
I mean, yeah, I mean, people would. I was an armed hospital security guard. People would, charge me with, meth needles. There'd be, I remember one time a patient bit their tongue to the point where it started bleeding and then started spitting everywhere, going, "I got AIDS! I got AIDS!" Like
That's not funny,
Oh,
but that's funny.
God.
yeah, and I there are many instances where I, could have drawn my weapon, and I mean I never even drew it, but I could have drawn it, in if I had to discharge it. In many instances I may or may not have been, it may or may not have been justified, but I talked my way out of it every single fucking time.
Yeah. And the question should
Which,
never
I mean,
have...
that's how you should be, because I mean, if you're the type of person that's in a hurry to fucking shoot somebody, you should not be a police officer.
No.
Precisely, yeah.
And you should never, like, after you shot somebody and you're sitting there, well, I say never, I mean, there's moral implications. But, like, the cops you see on traffic stops that then accidentally kill somebody or do kill somebody, and they're like, I killed that guy. And they're like, there's like literal audio stuff of them like trying to justify it. They're like, I thought I saw a gun. Didn't he have a gun? Like,
the fact that that's the first thought that comes in their head after they kill somebody.
Yeah. Or the one lady cop that shot, I think it was the taser girl, the taser and shot him.
Yeah.
She was like, when she was like, I'm going to prison. It's like, well, actually you
Yeah,
just killed
probably.
someone. You should probably be more worried about that than your consequences. You're not even upset that you did it. You're upset about the consequences of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if your first thought is trying to, like, justify it in your head and explain why you had to do it, then you probably didn't have to do it. Like, if you're worried about justifying it in court, it should have never happened. I had,
and then back to the woman that, shot the dude in the head instead of using her taser. and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to prison." Yeah, it's the first thing she said, and not the, "Oh damn, this person I just killed, who could have been, a father of 3."
That wasn't the
Yeah,
first thing she thought
seriously,
of.
like not even oh my god, he's dead or any of that shit. Just like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
People-
I'm so glad to know where your mind and heart are at.
People tend to forget that being in law enforcement is supposed to be you being a public servant.
Yes. Not vigilante with a gun that has no training.
Precisely.
I made a comment, this is probably about a year and a half ago now on Instagram, or I posted a story about, I don't even think it was necessarily anti-cop, I think it was anti-retarded cops. Like, it wasn't even all the way down that rabbit hole. And a family friend messaged me who her son recently graduated from the police department. And she was like, you have no idea what it's like and what they have to go through and what they have to do every day and how you make these decisions.
My god,
whether or
lady,
not you
neither do you.
pull your
Shut
gun.
up.
And I'm like, first of all, neither do you. And second of all, I've had guns pointed at me many times where I chose not to engage and I chose to talk things down. Like, I'm not saying I personally have been through every situation or have been run at with meth needles or things like that, but I do know what it's like to face death immediately while easily being able to pull the trigger and solve the problem. Yet I chose human life over maybe potentially some extra risk. Like, it's about caring and having, like, thinking through the situation, assessing it with a brain that's not fearing for his life. Like, you have to have the training, you have to have the thought process, and you have to care. There's too
think
many
it's
cops
mostly
that are
that.
just on power
That
trips.
requires empathy.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why the whole, getting the cops got bullied in high school trope is a thing. Because, well, it's a thing.
My one of my old leaders told me, to in regards to being in the military and PTSD and everything you've seen and been through. He told me, guard your empathy. Don't let that be destroyed. Don't let anybody or anything take that from you. He's like, because I did that a long time ago, and I very much regret that.
Yeah. I talked about this recently with my significant other about, I think I've talked to you guys about this too, how since coming back from Ukraine, it's been very hard for me to show empathy.
Yeah. I get that.
Haven't
there.
been able
Yeah.
to explain why. I haven't been able to quite put my finger on it. But when I first got back from Ukraine, people are like I had several mini deployment guys tell me before I left, like, you're gonna change. Like, you will change. And I was like, no, I won't. I'll be fine. And when I came back, I had several people ask me, like, how was it? Like, what's different now? Like, is it hard to adjust? I was like, no, it's fine. I'm fine. Nothing's changed. And the more time has gone on, I have realized that it was completely false. And basically, I was just telling myself I hadn't changed. When, meanwhile, people would be telling me about their problems, which I used to be extremely empathetic. Like, I would cry at Toy Story. Like, I literally couldn't watch Toy Story without crying because I was like, the toys don't get played with anymore. As an adult. And I came back from Ukraine and people would be telling me, like, they're, like, horrible, like, life problems or, whatever about, this. And I was like, wow, that sucks. At least you're alive. At least, whatever. And I had, and still to this day, I've been trying to work on it, and I probably should go see someone to talk about this. But
yeah, it's crazy. It's like I've been telling you to go to therapy ever since you got back from Ukraine.
Yeah, that's
several
fair.
fucking years ago, but
But it's like so hard because like I'm like, okay, well, there's other people that have it much worse. Like, that sucks to be you, but at least you're alive. At least you have a family. At least this and this and this. And it's crazy because so many people will come back from combat and be like, yeah, I haven't changed at all. And it makes so much more sense now seeing family members or friends also with multiple deployments or stuff come back and they're different. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, like, I understand it now. They couldn't explain it. They would say nothing's different, just like I did, until you just slowly start to realize you are different, and you know, and you're right. You don't let your empathy be taken from you, and that's really something
mean,
I would tell to, like, if
it-
I
it
was an
took- it-
NCO to my
When I came
kids.
back from Syria, it took my dad forcibly making me go talk to a counselor.
Yeah,
You know, and thankfully I actually tried. To I wanted that to work, and I actually tried, but
yeah.
forcing people to go to counseling and therapy doesn't always work because
You kind of have to want to go.
It usually doesn't
you have
work
to want
out.
help at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah, you got to want help at the end of the day. You got to want to be better, and it's hard to want to be better if you don't realize that nothing is wrong.
Yeah. I personally have reached that point, to be very public about this. I have personally reached the point of, hey, I something's wrong. But also, I don't know necessarily how I would go about, like, seeing someone. Like, I don't want to go just find some random person and be like, hey, here's all my life problems. Like, like, selfishly, I wish one of you guys were a
He's
counselor.
not local to you, but my guy would probably be perfect for you, but he's not local to you. You could probably do an over the phone thing.
Not a bad idea.
I'll
didn't even
look
think
up
about
his
over the phone
contact
thing.
info. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about that later then. That's actually a really good idea. But, like, I, as someone who has been in charge of people downrange, and maybe in the future or something, that is probably one of the biggest things in hindsight that I would push, is, like, not warrior ethos and combat lethality. but just a lot more of the mental stuff of it. And it's funny because that's what my friends, other than you guys, like, you both of you know one of the individuals that I'm talking about. Uncle guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking to me before I left, and he's like, hey, first time you see combat, like, and are in a real firefight, he's like, you honestly may piss yourself. He's like, I had guys that had been through all the training and ranger school and were in regiment and this and that, and then, whatever, and first time they actually got shot at, their pants were wet. He was like, honestly, it might happen. He's like, it's the way it is. He's like, your body does weird things when it's under severe stress. He's like, a lot of times they don't even know it until, like, afterward. And just different things like that. And he was one of the ones that he was like, when you get back, he's like, I will pay for you to go see a counselor. He's like, because you're not going to want to do it, but you're going to need to, and you're not going to know it.
I tell that to everybody I know now in the military, especially me being in a leadership role and people that are about to go overseas. I'm like, look, please heed my words. When I was in your shoes, they'd tell me, oh, you're going to be different when you get back. The transition's going to be hard. Everybody just kept saying a difficult transition. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. That's not real. And
Yeah.
then, I actually got in that position, and I'm like, oh, I know what they mean now.
Yeah.
Oh, this transition is difficult.
Yeah, because I experienced.
I was focused on...
And I always tell people, I'm like, look, when you get back, just go ahead and anticipate going to, even if you think you're fine, just go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Or not even, it doesn't even have to be a therapist, quote unquote. It can be a counselor, something like that. Just somebody who you can unload all your shit on,
When you say you're fine, but you're not fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I left,
I
I
love
was...
your Vine reference.
Yeah, thank you. When I first left, and even downrange, like, because as we've talked about, my first few months there, I was either training people or getting training. And I was hyper focused on getting good. Like, I was teaching my guys mag drills. To this day, I still get texts. Hey man, I just got out of a firefight this week. Thanks so much for teaching me mag drills. He's like, you should have seen me. You'd be so proud. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. But like, I was focused on getting better. Like, I wanted to be the best shooter, the best tactician, the fastest reload times, things like that. And literally, mental state of me coming back never occurred to me. The only thing that I would tell myself all the time, in the middle of firefights, in the middle of anything, is don't do anything that you're gonna question or like you might have to live with for the rest of your life. Like,
Go fast, don't suck.
yeah. But like seriously, I remember, like, we've talked about the time I took 2 POWs, which actually I have pictures of now. Someone literally just randomly sent me pictures a few weeks ago of me with them. And I was like, dude, I didn't even know these existed. And like, that was going through my head when I'm like pointing a gun at them, like at their faces, telling them, telling them to put their guns down, blah, blah, blah. Of like, I could shoot these guys, but like, that's not something I want to have to think about.
Especially, I mean, I've heard that story before, and the way you tell it, like most people in that instant finding them because it was such a heat of the moment thing and such a startling thing, a lot of people would have just shot them immediately.
Yeah, but I
you
specifically had programmed my
Yeah.
brain to think, like, think before you do things, and people will be like, yeah, the adrenaline is going so fast you don't have time to think. No, the adrenaline goes so quickly, you think so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I could have told you at, like, the spur of the moment, every single, like, item in that room, every single, like, sound, every, like, any kind of cue. I could have, like, memorized the pattern of the quilt that they were underneath. Like, I had all that information so quickly, and in the spur of the moment, I was like, you don't need to shoot. Like, I wasn't even wearing armor. I didn't even have my body armor on. I had a gun belt with a single reload and my weapon. Like, they could have easily smoked me, potentially. But de-escalating the situation, and then, of course, my buddies with me, were helping. Like, it wasn't all me. Like, there were other guns pointed in the room at that point, and people yelling.
Let me also say this, and the way I've heard you tell that story, I've seen body cam footage from cops in America who have been in situations like that just fucking shot them. And it's like,
oh, mag dumped. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
These are enemy combatants. I was this is in the middle of a war on the front line. And that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Are you sure it was a war and not in extended
special military
operation?
Special military operation.
I misspoke. The Special Military Operation Ukraine, the SMO. My apologies. And by no means do I tell this story and kind of continue to use this as I did this. Like, that's not why I say it. I say it just so I can give the credibility of, like, I have been in similar situations. I could have shot. But I did not want the moral and mental implications that would have caused. Like, would have that been the smart thing? Would it have been justified? Yes. I could have easily stood in front of a court and said, this is why I did it, and I would have been fine. But I don't want to think about that for the rest of my life and think of, what if they wouldn't have fired?
Yeah. Well, and then afterwards, of course, after everything clears, you realize that those guys were effectively deserters almost.
Yeah.
Didn't want to fight,
They literally were left. For those of you that have not watched the episode, it's somewhere way back there. They literally were left by their unit because they wanted to take care of their wounded friend who just didn't make it. So technically, yeah, their unit deserted them. It's kind of a weird situation because they were technically trying to get back to their unit, but they didn't realize that it was dozens of kilometers away at that point. the line was moving so rapidly at that point in the war. Of course, it is right now too. Thanks to actually, side topic, Elon Musk cut off Starlink for Russia and Ukraine, so that was a very rare based Elon Musk move.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. But yeah, and like I said, I don't tell that story to be big and mighty and brag or be arrogant. I just, when I see like Sean, you just said, the cop videos of just cops literally mag dumping, like not just a double tap, but empty an entire mag, and then
That's the part that gets me.
yeah.
Like the propensity of American police to just drastically overshoot.
Well, this is sometime within the past 6 months. I know you guys have seen it because I know we've talked about it. I think in the Instagram chat. But where the guy, they go like they're serving, the police knock on his door, and then you hear him behind the door unlocking the door, and then they fire through the door and fucking kill him before he even got a chance to open the door.
Yeah,
They just heard a noise.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like,
We literally mag dump at sounds now. That's what we're doing. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I make that joke when I'm.
It's a
in the
joke,
field.
right?
though.
Yeah, that was
But-
supposed to
but
be
it
a
is-
joke,
it is-
bro. That's not
I make that
instructions.
joke because the people I'm telling it to are smart enough to understand that it's a joke.
It was like, and I understand this is airsoft, but I'll use this as a reference. There was a cop that would come play airsoft at Charleston, who no longer plays there because we bullied him to death. Well, not death, he's not dead, but we bullied him constantly. He thought he was the coolest, most hardcore special forces SWAT acting, I'll use the word again, retard. And the amount of times
I think you get 3. Don't say it again. I think you
okay,
get 3
all right, that was
before
3.
you
All right, no more.
off.
Like just horrible player, horrible cop, like horrible shooter, everything. And we would slaughter him. And he didn't know my background. I'm not gonna I don't go announcing my background to people. People ask me what I did, or I had somebody ask me this weekend at Airsoft. I went and played for a couple hours because they invited me out. They were like, "Oh, you look like a real Navy SEAL." I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Wait, so you're on the SEAL team or something like that?" Because I was getting switched to the SEALs, the other team on there. And and one of the guys was like, "Were you in the Army?" And I was like, "Something like that."
Well,
And he
yes,
goes-
but actually, no.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, something like that. And he was like, "Wait, so are you like a cop?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm definitely not that." And he was like, "So like, were you in the Army?" I mean, it was like the mom, story I tell
There
about the
are only
mom,
two
like, "Did you
choices."
serve our country?" But this is literally just a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid. Like, he's honestly curious and not being a dick about it. And one of the other guys that was playing Airsoft that happens to know where I was and what I did was like, he very politely told the kid, he was like, he doesn't really have to tell you. He was like, maybe one day he'll talk to you about it or you'll find out or something. He was like, but maybe it's just sometimes you might not want to know. And the kid was like, well, now I want to know even more. But,
I do remember that because I'm pretty sure I was with you. That not at that. I'm talking about the cop dude.
mm-hmm.
And,
Oh, I was going something like that. Yeah, but yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself a mediocre soldier, but I'm a combat engineer. So I'm not an infantryman. So I'm good at basic infantry tasks, and I can shoot. But that's I'm good at digging fighting positions, identifying explosive hazards,
Super
you know,
Hua.
and then I can do a good recon. I'm a whore for a good recce, but this guy claiming to be some fucking ultra cool, super fucking SWAT dude, and we would just continuously fucking smoke this dude.
Yeah. The story I was going with that is the amount of times that he would friendly fire his own team or us when we occasionally would get put on the same team was hilarious. Because we would make the joke all the time. Like, he would shoot us in the back or something, and we're like, average police activity. Shooting someone without IDing who they are. It would make him so mad.
Wasn't that the dude that would wear AOR2?
I don't actually remember what he would wear. He always looked really stupid. He would literally drive his cop car to play airsoft, like on taxpayer dollar.
Oh Jesus
That's
Christ!
cringe.
Yeah, he'd literally show up in his cop car and like think it was all cool, and sometimes he'd like beep the siren for people. It was like, dude. Yeah, and he even asked us one day. He's like, "So do
Easy
y'all like?"
there, brother. Save some coochie for the rest of us.
He even asked one time. He was like, "So do y'all like?" What did he say? He's like, "Do y'all do this for real or something?" Because once again, it was me, Blake, and I mean both of y'all were there on occasion, and
Yeah.
and Blake's like, "No, I'm just an airsoft blarper," and he's like, "Okay," and he like looks at me, and I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "No, but like seriously, what do you... It's like he thinks he's all bad, and then he continues to just team kill people, and it's like,
let me reiterate. I am a National Guardsman.
yep, it's a walking meme. Even the cops that play airsoft shoot friendlies in the back or mag dump into people they have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a very long tangent. I apologize.
No, you're fine. We're actually cutting it pretty long here, I think.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here.
I'm good. That was a horribly long tangent. I just realized how long that was. But yeah.
Yeah, that was
I'm
really
good.
all. That was just a long tangent.
I don't
I feel
think
like I'd get upset though.
there's really anything else. Yeah, I love hearing cops get upset. It's my favorite. I think that's really it.
Yeah.
I should be good for one next weekend.
I think I can do next weekend.
Yeah,
think-
we can
yeah.
can set it in stone later, but I think next weekend we will have another one. We'll get back on track for doing them once a week now that we're all back from events and overseas.
Yeah. Well, because of that trip I told you guys about.
Yes.
My schedule is going to be a little fucky here within the coming months leading up to that, but shouldn't be too bad. I'll keep y'all updated.
We, without doxing your trip, you're gonna have to do an episode on your trip.
Now that would be funny.
That would be incredible. I'll talk about what I can talk about when I get back from it.
Just no context. Just every Sunday you're gonna have to do one from while you're on your trip, and just no context whatsoever.
That's funny.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us.
That's gonna
for
be amazing.
2 hours, guys. While we didn't have anything set in stone today, it was kind of a mess, especially at the beginning. Like I said, I don't have my lights. My mic wasn't working in the beginning. Things like that. Thanks for bearing with us.
I didn't have my
watching.
camera on just because I didn't feel like putting on a shirt. So.
That's true. I since I just got back from my war tourism, I literally still had like duffel bags of stuff, and I just literally, if y'all can see, I pushed it all over there out of the camera. Like there was a duffel bag here of like full of stuff, and I was like, ugh. So thanks for bearing with us and watching, and shout out to our 69th subscriber. Thank y'all for watching for 30 episodes now. We have to at least make it to 69. We might not make it to 100. We might not make it to 420. I fully plan on doing this for basically ever, but if something happens, we at least have to make it for another 39 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it to 420. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think you Joe Rogan?
Ew. Ew. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you back next week. Do we have any dad advice? Honestly, if it were me, I would just, if you're like a dad to your soldiers or your people, talk to them about empathy. Honestly.
Yeah. Also, don't stop viewing different people. Don't stop dehumanizing other people. It's easy. You see that a lot in politics. Like the right likes to dehumanize the left, and the left likes to dehumanize the right. And while
Identity
there may be
politics.
valid reasons for certain opinions, dehumanizing is how we have gotten so far separated.
Just because you can doesn't mean you shouldn't, or you should.
Yeah. If we didn't have a bad habit of dehumanizing our political opponents, I don't think we would be this far cooked,
No.
as the kids would say.
And I'll actually kind of tie this back. All that could be solved with empathy.
Precisely, yes.
So teach
Precisely.
your kids.
Precisely.
If you're an actual dad, teach your kids about empathy. You should go to counseling for empathy. And if you're a dad to young soldiers as their NCO, sorry, I was about to say something really stupid. As their NCO, teach them about empathy, especially before deployments and things like that. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hopefully we'll see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for watching. There goes Zach, and we'll see you guys.